Well, good afternoon. It is March 29th, and hard to believe that March is actually almost over. Insane. But we are here as usual for our live Q&A, and I get some great questions every week from folks from around the United States and Canada that I love to answer. And as always, if you want to send a question to me, you can send it to Wally at phonesalesecrets.com. You can put it up here on Facebook. You can even text it to me at 214-334-1356. And without any further ado, let's get into it. It says, what inspired you to pursue a career in sales? So, I started in corporate America. Actually, I was a substitute teacher for a year when I got out of school. When I graduated in 1990, at the time, it was the second worst year to get a job since World War II. So it was, since the Great Depression. It was bad. And so it was one of these things where I had to obviously take care of things. I moved back home. But I did end up getting a job in the mutual fund industry in 91. And I worked there for about 8 years and learned a lot about sales and business and whatnot. And I was making good money. I'm trying to think, by the time I was 28, I was making over $100,000 a year. But I was working for somebody else. I was working 14-hour days, being passed over for promotions and things like that. And it didn't jive with me. And then one day we had a presentation contest that I practiced ridiculously hard for. Did really well and came in third, and I was pretty torqued off about that. And so, my mentor and his wife had been saying for a long time, you should join him, you should join him, you should join him. So I called him after I left work that day and I said, hey, can I come talk to you about real estate? He said, sure. I said, okay. So I came to his house. It was a nice spring afternoon. And I said, hey, why do you do what you do? He goes, well, what did you do today? I said, well, I got to work at like 7, worked until, today I left early, but normally I work until 7, taking phone calls all day, making a truckload of money for somebody else. I go, what did you do today? He goes, well, I had 2 closings. I got paid on both of them. I didn't go to either of them, but the checks were on my desk when I got to the office. I hopped on my Harley. I drove out to the coast, had lunch, and I came back. I go, oh, sign me up. And so I took my real estate. What did I do? I took 2 weeks off from work. I read the real estate book. This is back in the day, obviously. This is 25 years ago. But read the real estate book. I took their crash course to learn everything for sure, and then I took my real estate class. And I basically got my license and started in August of 2000, probably 1998, and it's been off on since then. So it was a choice. It was a conscious choice, and I really honed a lot of my skills and my ability to do presentations and talk with people. I'd overcome my 10 years of call reluctance, so it was really the next best step for me. And I was just super disenfranchised and disenchanted with what I had from the other company I was working for, and so I moved on. Whew, what is the biggest misconception people have about salespeople, and how do you combat it? I don't know if there's just one. People think salespeople are liars. People think salespeople are greedy, manipulative, only in it for themselves, slimy, not trustworthy, right? So there's a lot of those, right? And I think all of it comes down to integrity. In general, you can draw lines from all that to integrity. And so let's just call it integrity. I think people think that salespeople lack integrity. Interestingly enough, I think it was American Home Shield did a study a few years ago and found that 68% of the public does not trust real estate agents, and 75% of millennials do not trust real estate agents. That's a problem, right? And so, we're a victim of whoever we're around, right? Or benefit from around. Right, and what Jim Rohn said, right? He says you are the combination of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. And so even though I'm in the real estate industry or I work with real estate agents, if one real estate agent does something bad, then people all get lumped in, and that's just the way it is in life. However, and I just did a little short on this the other day. Hopefully, it'll be coming out soon. But there's a difference between manipulator and salesperson, right? And it's really about intent. A manipulator is all about themselves. They're saying things to you and trying to influence you in such a way that you're going to do what they want you to do so they can benefit. A good salesperson is going to work with you and influence you and ask you the questions so that you can benefit, and everything will be to your benefit, if that makes any sense. So it really comes down to that. And I think, the best way to combat it is when you're sitting across the table from somebody, are they talking about your benefits? Do you feel like they're being upfront with you? Do you feel like they're being transparent for you? Do you feel like they're trying to get you to do something for your benefit? Okay, and that's it. And every industry has good, middle, and bad, right? School teachers, lawyers, accountants, salespeople, it doesn't matter. Every industry has that. right? And it's just one of those things that you have to make sure that you find the person you like, the person you identify with, the person who you think's got your best interest in line with you, with what they're doing, and then you stay with that person. And that's why, over 65% of the real estate business done these days is done from the point of a referral, because people find people that they like and trust and don't want to go work with somebody else. Number 3, if you could have any celebrity endorse you, who would it be and why? The same name keeps coming up. Maybe Tony Robbins. I've had the good fortune of meeting him a few times. I've been to a lot of his events. I think some of what I do lines up with some of what he does with respect to helping people identify what's keeping them back or holding them back, and then overcoming it so they can create a great life for themselves. We both had tough childhoods, and I just think having his endorsement obviously would be huge. But at the same time, it's there's a little bit of alignment there. More, obviously he's here and I'm here. You can't even see it, but at the same time, I think just having somebody like that endorse me and talk about what I've accomplished, even specifically using a lot of the stuff that he teaches to improve my life, would be valuable as well. That's all we have for today. If you want to submit a question, please do so. I would love to answer your question. There's lots of things that are coming up these days that are challenging, and if you've ever been through this kind of a market, you're going to need to go ahead and get some help. So please don't be afraid to send questions to me. I'll answer them in this form. I'll also answer them personally if you need to. Other than that, just make sure you're kind to yourself. We'll talk to you soon.